So today I'm going to be working on a project that I've been meaning to work on for quite a while. This is an Intel NUC Compute Element. The difference between the Compute Element and the regular NUC is this. This is going to be the PCI Express breakout, and though it is the male version, the pinout is basically directly one-to-one to an actual PCIe lane. I bought these used as untested for parts. However, I believe that they are fully functional and they simply just slotted it into a motherboard, expecting it to work perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and test this and see if it works. This is just a janky ATX power supply that I had laying around. I should also mention that I have a theory. You actually don't need the PCI Express power for the actual NUC. I see a lot of reviewers in the past say that they needed it for it to actually power on. However, I believe that just like an actual NUC, it just requires a 12-volt input right here. Let's see here. One of these should be CPU. I believe it actually was that one. All right, and then we'll just go ahead and steal my switch's HDMI port. Go ahead and just hook that right up to here. And if I'm correct, this should just connect right to the display. Let me just readjust my camera here so you all can see. There we go. Alrighty, and it's flipping the switch. Oh, I saw the fan twitch on the NUC. Let's see. Oh, now it's spinning. All right, let's see. Well, at the very least, just supplying the CPU power didn't fry it. I didn't luckily use the wrong power connector. Oh, there it was. I think I might have just accidentally powered it down, pressing it again. Let me press it one more time. Fan is speeding up again. Display light's blue. There we go. All right, yeah, it works perfectly. I don't have a keyboard on me to test, so it doesn't actually need the PCIe lanes on the device to be powered. It just needs the 8-pin EPS connector for the CPU. That is all it needs. Now, originally, I did have a different power supply in mind because actually when I bought this, it actually came with two of them. 2 in one lot, exactly the same, and both are also pre-production samples. Maybe they were reviewer samples, but these were date of manufacture after the review units on the various tech channels, whether that's LTT, Gamers Nexus, any of the ones I could find at the time, meaning that this is probably a PVT prototype. Either way, as I was saying, I got 2 of them. My original plan was to use and modify a mining power supply, specifically this one. This one I found at a thrift store for $5. Thought, okay, this would work. And I would just have to rewire all of these to have the inverse polarity. I think I already did that for one of them. I would also have to redo the grommet so that they're 8-pin instead of 6. But just have to wait for the caps to run out. Yeah. So unfortunately that one is out of the running, but we can still use this one or a different power supply that I have, but that's a little overkill. It's a 1300 watt one. I was gonna think about putting these into little blade servers and just have like a little cluster computer for these two. But one thing I want to experiment with is if I can get this PCIe lane to connect to another device. And I have not been able to find anything other than the original dock and a couple of other weird connectors, but the original dock is very scalped, as in $300-200 for the actual one for this, and then I think $100 for the Cooler Master one. There's like an eBay listing that's $50 shipping and $50 price, and it's literally, as far as I can tell based off video snapshots, a one-to-one link for these pins to the actual device. The only difference is the backplane is actively powered through another 12-volt connector. This is the graphics card that I was thinking about using, and I got this at McKay's for $27, thinking like I can use it as like a testing graphics card. But when I looked at it, it's actually a GTX 1080. Like that's an actual 1080 with 8 gigs of VRAM. Not extremely up to date or anything. Still a very nice card, so I feel bad using this for a test experiment. However, I'm 90% certain it should work either way. So this plus this would make a really competent computer, especially considering that this is the i9 1100 KB model. And I ended up getting a weird passive adapter. This one specifically, I'm not certain this will actually work. Since this is completely passive, there is no 12 volt or 3.3 volt on this device. I am thinking, however, that you might be able to modify it by edging away at the silk screening right there and soldering directly to it. I don't think there's any reason why that wouldn't work. However, I still have to do some research, but I do want to test to see if just connecting it passively will work. That's just something weird. You don't see that every day. Now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to support this because I don't want any of the edge connectors to snap. Let me remove this, actually. That should be able to take it closer to the right height. Perfect. All right, and this requires an 8-pin PCIe. Unfortunately, I think this one only has 6. It might do for testing, but I'm not certain. I actually don't even know if the graphics card itself works. However, I want to see the outcome from this. Just have to plug in 8-pin EPS. All right, now the moment of truth to see if this blows up. Hopefully not. Theoretically, what I'm expecting to happen is there's going to be no display, or if anything, there might be a BIOS routine on the graphics card that says that it's undervolted because I'm only using a 6-pin EPS or a 6-pin PCIe, whatever it's called, on this. Only one way to find out. No magic smoke yet. Saw the fan spin there. I hear the power supply a little bit more strained. I see some more coil line, but I don't see this lighting up. I don't know if that's supposed to light up. Let's see if there's anything on the NUC's internal display. No, nothing there. Try hitting power one more time. Oops, the fan is spinning up. I'm gonna actually swap over to the display just in case. Yeah, I don't see anything. There's nothing on the display. Yeah, and that's spinning down now. Try just one more time just in case. You can hear hella coil line from the actual power supply, which is actually kind of crazy. But still no life on the GPU itself. The NUC doesn't seem to be doing anything. I can try hooking up the display to the NUC again. Yeah, nothing. Not surprised. I'm probably gonna have to modify this card to accept 12 volt on its own supply. Either way, this I think would create a really cool desktop computer